Hello everyone, and today I'm going to be talking about Black Friday Blast. During this, I'll be going over the team dynamic as well as all of my individual contributions to this project. So, at the start, we have the health bar. I made the basic functionality of it, but nothing more. But now it does, this, where the color changes depending on the percentage of health. I didn't make that, but it's there. Anyway, I also worked on the projectile pickups, as well as all the unique projectiles themselves. 4 unique ones. This laser one, here, can hit multiple enemies at once. Although it's a bit slow, it can deal quite a bit of damage as well. So the main thing I worked on in this project, though, was definitely the models. We have tables here, we have all these shelves, toasts, pies there. We also have the weapon shop just here. We also have the toy shop, and finally we have the clothes shop. Now yeah, the other size weapons are probably my favorite, but we have the toy shop and the clothes shop here as well. Now, for the team dynamic, I think I worked on models mainly, to be honest, but I was also keeping the Trello always up to date, and I was filling out most of the holes we had during the development of the game, which is why I worked on modeling so much, since not many people really wanted to do that. And during the term, I think our communication was great when seeing face to face, but when we went to the holidays, everyone was just kind of burnt out off of the other modules, so it didn't really work as much. Well, most of us didn't, anyway. For the interactable models, I worked on all of them. All of the different kinds of projectiles, as well as the bottles, burger, the cans, pizza, and the jellies with emissive materials. So, usually the things with no textures, I put emissive things in the actual level itself, which is why they don't have textures here. So, here's the regular models I've done. So, how I would make a model is I would make it the right shape, obviously, but in the style of Art Deco and pop art. And then after Brent said that, oh yeah, this is great, because he was basically the art director, I would work on the textures and also texture it to the similar style of Art Deco and pop art. And then he would confirm it again, and then I'd put them in the level. He is the rest of the models as well. And as you can see, yeah, there is a lot of different kinds of models I worked on. So, for shot types, this is just the fast shot here that I worked on, but this one's probably the most basic one. So, this is what basically most shot types did. So, when the projectile hits something, it checks if it's not itself, and then applies damage, and then finally just disappears. Now, how it calculates the damage is through a power value that the player has times by the damage multiplier, which is dependent on the weapon. And then finally, we have how long the projectile takes to despawn. So for this, it takes 2.5 seconds, because it's a high-ranged weapon. Now, the burst shot was a bit unique, as well as the laser shot, which I'll get to, but the burst shot works like a regular projectile, but only damages the other actor if it has a specific tag, due to it shooting 3 projectiles at once, because otherwise it'll just delete each other. Now, I had Fiona help me with this part a little bit, but everything else I did work on. And then we have the damage multiplier, which is basically 2.4 times if you manage to hit all 3 projectiles, since, again, burst shot, 3 projectiles at once. Now, the laser shot was a lot more complex. So, if the enemy has an allowed to hit actor on, right, if it has the boolean on, it'll deal damage to them and then turn it off for that enemy, meaning it can hit multiple targets, but it can't hit them again. So it hits them once, and that's it. but it doesn't destroy itself when it hits something. Now, for stat increase in items, the power up, all it does is it just increases the base power value when you pick it up and then destroys itself. And then the health up does the exact same thing for max health, and then it also increases your actual health as well. So it can work as a healing item as well, but diet healing, probably. Now, for actual healing items, the calculation it uses is it gets your max health, divides it by 5, and then it just gives you that amount of health. So it gives you 20% of your health. The big heal does the exact same thing, but it times it by 2. Now, for the shop pickups themselves, it plays a sound, like pretty much everything else, and then it sets your firing speed externally. And then this final part looks a bit messy, but literally all it does is it goes to the character and it turns off all of the different projectiles and turns on the one you just got. And it's the same for everything. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the presentation.